Well, it says, videos to go versus. And I want to introduce, a glitch, Ma.
Alright, let's see this glitch.
I found out one of the things that makes the game crash in multiplayer. You want to believe how simple it is?
Yes, I do. Let me see this. I don't know if I believe it's simple, though.
It's very simple. It's just very easy to pull off.
Okay, let's see.
Notice, the game is perfectly fine with all that I'm doing right now. No crashes or anything.
Right,
Except I somehow hit that wall and didn't start sliding down it for some reason. What I just did right there will crash the game. There.
What did you do to crash it? Slide down the wall, you said?
No clip crashes the game.
Ah.
I think it's because no clip checks for your debug variable. I'm assuming if the other player doesn't have that variable on, the game tries to make you no clip. Then the other player's computer is like, no, you don't have debug on. You don't. It doesn't matter if the other player doesn't. If you don't, the code, I guess it only checks for the current player. So all of a sudden we start running into problems where, well, the other player somehow did it when you shouldn't be able to do it. So suddenly, boom, game crashes because it doesn't know how to handle other players moving on their own.
Oh, okay.
I want to see if it crashes all the time, or if both players have debug on, if it actually would allow me to use no-clip.
Okay.
Because this would be a suspicion as to why. I'm just going to turn on debug on this one, and then switch to the other one, do the same thing. This is like a weird version of split screen.
Yeah.
Now I just have to try to activate no-clip and see if it crashes. Okay, I just have to see if it tries in a few seconds. I don't see it yet, but I'm just going to move over here. So I think that verified what causes the game to crash. See, it hasn't crashed yet.
No, it hasn't.
I think that it crashes whenever a big inconsistency happens between the computers. Like whenever one of them passes a condition and the other one doesn't. For example, the one had debug mode on, the other one didn't. This made no clip crash the game because it only checks for your condition even when the other player is doing something.
Gotcha.
So if you try to no-clip the other player, if they have debug on, as you see right here, it's perfectly fine. I could just turn on no-clip, turn it off, and the game never crashes.
Yeah.
But the instant that the other player
does something different.
Yet the instant that the other player doesn't have no-clip, well, doesn't have debug mode on, or doesn't have one of the conditions, it crashes.
Got ya.
Isn't that a weird programming thing?
That is a weird programming thing. Because it's supposed to support multiplayer, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't when you modify the source code in such a way that it starts having conditions.
Got ya.
This means that whenever we play together, both of us have to have debug mode on if we're going to be able to no-clip through walls without the game crashing.
Got ya.
I'm just gonna hit him off the edge there. Switch to that to see his view. I kinda wish the co-op spy was possible in deathmatch. I'm thinking maybe I should add a setting to let the player use co-op spy in deathmatch.
Why's that?
I don't know, just I think it'd be cool because while I'm playing deathmatch, I might want to switch to the other person and watch them getting beat up by me or something.
Right.
Or I might just like to watch you from my computer. It's kind of cheating because that's a competitive mode. But to be able to look at what you're doing from my screen without us having to be playing on the same team where we can't hurt each other. Just so I can watch you running around randomly trying to hit me in this first special stage deathmatch.
Right.
Then I can just watch you instead of becoming lost and be like, where are you? Constantly spinning around.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, but only as a setting, so it's not there by default for any competitive people.
Gotcha.
However, this is a glitch that has to be fixed because it's really dumb that the game crashes if the other person doesn't have their debug mode on. I don't know why the game doesn't just check the other player. But when I say that, I think, well, how does the game check the other player? To the game, each player has a separate CVAR, and if those CVARs are different, unexpected results could occur.
It's understandable, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah, it does.
Of course, this reminds me of other glitches that I believe I've seen. Well, oh yeah, like remember that one time when I first programmed race mode and each of the players had a different CVAR and I forgot to set yours.
Yeah, I remember that.
Then whenever I tried to go to the racetrack, the other player, they were trying to be taken to level 0. And then it caused the game to just redirect them both to an error. No crash, but still an error. That was only because I programmed it and didn't know how to make it apply to all players and require only setting controllers to modify it.
Yeah. Okay.
However, a fun fact is, back then it would cause an error to come up, but now Map 0 does exist if you don't realize. Map 0 is the test level. Also, I've modified how the game writes down the name of levels, by the way. Before it would write down internal name hyphen, then it would write down the title. I changed it to say title, and then in parentheses, there's the internal name.
Right.
So now you can see it says Map 0 right there.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah, my Map 0 is now internal map. Just because, if anything, like if you exit a special stage without first coming to it from a special stage,
Yeah.
the global variable will equal 0. So it'll try to send you to Map 0. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So in order to keep the game from crashing with an error unpleasantly, I just made it redirect you to the test level. It's still not a good idea because the player will lose any of their progress if this glitch ever occurs, because they'll be sent to level 1 whenever they run down this path right here. Then they'll be redirected here, the first level. Oh, by the way, meet the dancing ghosts.
Dancing ghosts meet people. People will meet dancing ghosts.
Oh no. I have to run away. I'd rather have Arthas trying to help. Wait, why was Arthas being hurt underneath the water there? The original drowning wouldn't be here because, remember, if you drown here, it kills you.
Yeah. I don't know why he did that then.
Because his screen was red like he was being hurt by something.
Yeah.
And none of the dancing ghosts were in the water with him either.
Yeah, that's weird.
Ah. Ah.
Holy cow. Ah, there we go again. Watch out, there's some mean dancing ghosts. They're hateful. They must have been dancing for thousands of years.
Yeah.
They're
Oh.
pissy.
Yeah, no, and by the way, and this one is not jumping at me, by the way. That's because it considers their target dead, so they're just running in a loop right now. They're not even attacking me.
Ah.
If I set them to do an A look command, then they would see the player, and then they would start chasing them again. At the moment, they only look for one player. So once they find their target, they just keep going after them because they never look, or they never even do a chase. So they only ever find one target. If you attack them, then they'll probably recover their target. Yeah, now they're after me again.
Yep. As seen by the red.
Yeah, oh, and I still love doing that, though. You can knock them into each other. Oh, and whenever you kill them, they sort of explode like that.
Cool.
You saw the explosion?
Yes, I did.
So what do you think about the explosion?
I like it. Like goes.
Oh, great. And debug mode, by the way, no clip can also crash the game if the error message comes up. If the you need debug mode enabled message comes up, it causes the game to crash.
And why's that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't be allowed to, because by default I had Zane debug enabled on mine and the other one. However, it appears that if there's any difference, like if yours turns off whenever it activates, then the other player will see it be activated, but then the game will crash because of a big inconsistency.
Got you.
I like
is that back to where, if one's doing too much more than the other one, then they crash?
Yeah, it seems to be that. I kind of like how I've sorted down what causes these annoying crashes. If one player is able to do something but the other one can't, the game doesn't, treat each player separately and just send over commands. Clearly, it sends over commands based on what the whole game is saying, so that must be why there's net codes exist and everything.
Yeah.
Problem is, I bet that even if I understood C++, I would not understand those. So, yeah. Graf Zal, or whatever your name is, or Randy, or whoever, you probably should help me out with this. I'd like to understand this Z-Doom more than I do right now. And I don't think that knowledge of C++ is going to help me. I mean, it would help me with some things, but only common things. It would not help me with custom modifications that they've done,
So what would you need to know for custom modifications if C++ isn't what you need to know? What would you have to know for that?
Well, it depends. Like, those weird net codes, the demo commands, and, well, not CVARs. CVARs is actually another custom thing they did, but they made it so simple that it's easy to understand.
Good.
I understand CVARs. That's why I program my own into the source code at times, and as you can see, it never causes the game to crash.
That's good.
I mean, the Zane debug variable is what's keeping the player from doing no clip, but I implemented it in a non-multiplayer friendly way. Problem is, unless they actually explain to their users and don't just stay silent in the forums, then how are they going to understand these other non-standard C++ things? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Still frustrates me that I may try something risky and then they won't come to save me when I screw my source code up. I mean, I know I only tried PMing or private messaging one of them, Grafzal, but
So you think they're gonna try to maybe give you some help?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really as doomed now as I was whenever I was. What?
Doomed. You're not as doomed, and you're on Z-Doom.
Yeah. Well, did you think that was intentional?
I didn't know if it was intentional or not, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, but still, I wasn't as doomed as I was whenever I was messing around with the water at first. I remember I asked in the forums, "Oh, how do I remove this water speed limit?" They didn't reply.
So you figured it out, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I later found out what lines of code were responsible. Thankfully, that does not seem to crash the game. What seems to mainly crash the game now is trying to activate no clip when the other person can't. Perhaps that could be fixed because you see, the problem is the source code handles things totally differently. We've seen it handles multiplayer really strangely, and I'm assuming that's because of how differently they programmed it, you know?
Yeah.
But another thing that's different about Z-Doom internally is how did it...
Excuse me.
Wow.
Nice one there, buddy.
Yeah, but Z-Doom handles other things differently internally. If I can remember what. Oh yeah, like being able to check for if you're in multiplayer or not. I don't know how. I mean, I know that there's a deathmatch CVAR, but that wouldn't help. You can also have deathmatch in single player. There's no reliable way to check if I'm in multiplayer. But I know anyone who messed around with the source code would be like, I know how to do it, but then why don't you help me out?
Right,
because
exactly.
I don't know much about C++.
Yeah, so give me some help.
The knowledge I know about C++ is thanks to ACS. Thanks to what you're seeing here, this ACS here, it's based on C++. So I understand the stuff I'm doing here. Let's see this right here, game skill. There's also one called game type. It lets you very easily check if you're playing in co-op or deathmatch or single player. But in source code, I don't know how to check for if the player is in multiplayer. Because if so, then I can make it skip over the CVAR check if it detected you were playing in multiplayer, which would probably disable the crash at the cost of people being able to abuse NoClip to cheat a lot more.
Yeah, you found out so much stuff on your own. I mean, you've never even been trained with this stuff, so that's so cool. So if somebody that does have training, with this, it would be nice if they would give you a hand and give you some tips on how to be able to overcome some of those stuff. Be nice, people out there and YouTube land.
But it'd also be nice if I could make requests for someone to come to my GitHub and make me a pull request.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because in particular, one thing I would love if someone could implement would be where that whole map info thing I tried to do in, I think, number 13, development number 13, where it said this video must be pointer type. You remember the one with me face palming in the thumbnail? Yeah.
No.
Well, the one that has me face palming in the thumbnail is the one where I tried to mess around with the source code and I tried to change the map info so that its music would be treated as an integer. And whenever it loads the music when starting a level, it would instead refer to whatever that script has in it. Problem is, I kept finding out this must be pointer type. As soon as I made it pointer type, no, this is invalid. And then I kept switching it back and forth, and it kept throwing up an error or doing nothing. I don't understand enough about these weird pointer things to understand what's going on here, so that's why. I mean, literally, there are times like this where I'm stuck and no one's gonna help. That's rude. But still.
Yeah, it would be nice to get somebody to help.
Yeah, because I wouldn't know who to ask there unless they'd be like, no, learn C++, you will understand. I'm pretty sure I'd understand about pointers then, but that probably wouldn't help out with Z-Doom's custom stuff. As I've said, you're probably taught certain things when you learn C++. but you won't be taught certain other things that Z-Doom does differently.
It's true.
So let's find the video where the frustration occurred. Here it is. World of Kirbycraft development number 13. This video must be a pointer. That's of course a reference to the error message that it kept popping up with. I actually made my own little custom error that said that. It actually appears in the thumbnail. It says this video must be a pointer. And let's see if the pictures one come up. Nope, it has to be standard definition default. I never know which one it's going to be. Isn't that confusing?
It is confusing.
But now you can see the errors and errors. First off, it says operand of asterisk must be a pointer. Error, expression must have pointer type. And then I decided to modify error down here to say this video must be a pointer.
Yeah, what is the pointer stuff? I don't get.
I don't know. I'm assuming it refers to certain. Maybe it refers to certain locations in its memory or something.
Ah.
I mean, there are pointers in Z-Doom. For example, monsters have pointers. For example, whoever attacks them gets marked as their target, which is a pointer.
Okay.
That's how that the monsters, like the dancers, well, they sort of do certain things related to pointers. I mean, like, they check if your health is low to taunt you whenever you die. They taunt you. And they do it through, well, they check for if their health is lower than 1, which should mean they're dead. I bet if the player was at 1 health, it would trigger the taunt even though they're not dead. But 1 health is very hard to get stuck on.
I bet.
But however, I make them check for their target pointer, which means specifically whatever player they're currently chasing. I don't know how to check for, like, another player, but when I think about it, I think, well, how would you check for another player? What would be their relevance to the player they're currently following? See, it's like, I think about good ideas, but I keep thinking, how could they be logical?
Right. Is everything logical on the system? Or?
Well, I don't know. Whenever I think about something that's illogical, I either don't know how to fix it, or I think about it and I realize, well, how would that even work in the first place?
Yeah.
I mean, you are able to check for specific player pointers, by the way. You could check for AAPTR_player1, and that would only refer to player 1 in particular. Problem is, if you check for player 2 or something, I don't know how it would respond if you're not actually playing with the second player.
Got ya.
And now make it a nightmare to test, because I'd have to always open up those 2 windows and hope they don't randomly crash, because I have muscle memory and I activate no clip. Whenever anything bad happens, I activate no clip to fly through walls, only to find the game crashing, because I forget I can't do that in multiplayer.
Oh, yeah. Because that causes it to crash.
Yeah. Oh, and so let's find the part where the frustration occurs.
Total frustration.
I know it's kind of strange to watch a video, YouTube video in a YouTube video. I've done this before in videos. I've called it YouTubeception because you're seeing a YouTube video, but it's within a YouTube video you are watching on YouTube.
It's strange.
Still, I don't know why, but it's very hard to read that text at all. I think the compression. This reminds me of my older YouTube videos where they were very low quality and compressed and everyone complained about them.
Yeah. Oh, you only had so much internet.
Bandwidth.
And bandwidth,
They
yeah.
didn't seem to understand that these limits that shouldn't exist were there anyways.
Yep, they were. Strange.
And then you could tell that once I got unlimited internet, that's when these higher quality videos started becoming a thing, with HD becoming more common.
Right.
Nowadays I look back on those videos and think, I can't see anything.
Yeah, it's really hard to see, but that's all the limits that you could use. I mean, that was all. We lived out in the boonies where they wouldn't give us unlimited internet.
Yeah. Oh, and I think, I can't even read any of it on screen, but I'm assuming this is where I started running into frustration. Yeah, you can see an error appear when I was highlighting that little grayish box that keeps popping up.
Yeah.
That's an error. You can tell it's a pretty frustrating thing, can't you?
Yes.
But eventually I just get stuck in a loop where it keeps saying, it must be a pointer. I make it a pointer. It must not be a pointer. And it's like, well, what do you want it to be? Visual Studio? You say you want it to be one, you say you want it to be the other.
Make up your mind.
Yes,
Damn you.
Yeah, so that's why I would love for someone from the Z-Doom forums to come to World of Kirbycraft.
Please.
And to look through my code and make Z-Doom do this. Originally, whenever you did a map info, you'd specify a file name and it would play that whenever the level first starts. That doesn't work with my soundtrack system at all. I mean, I bet I could do something hackish with this by making a script at the beginning of each level check your soundtrack and then make it prioritize your normal soundtrack.
Maybe.
Then, if you happen to have the MIDI soundtrack or something, then it would just forcibly override it after loading's done, but that would still cause cutoffs while the null one wouldn't. But still.
I wonder if you could send that to somehow to ZDoom and see if they would. I wonder if you could send it to somebody, like your video of your what you were you're having a problem with.
Well, actually, I know that the developers, I think they only really care about normal ZDoom. And of course, they'd think of this as a pointless feature because, well, it only really matters for World of Kirbycraft and its soundtrack system. Because I mainly want the player's soundtrack to be respected whenever they go between levels. I don't want it to briefly play the normal soundtrack with all its pre-rendered music, only to switch to MIDI a second later.
Got ya.
Because that would probably make anyone who doesn't know about the soundtrack system ask, well, why am I hearing this good music all of a sudden I have to hear MIDI? Why does this sound like those things I download because apparently they can't have copyrighted music in them? Well, then what's up with that?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if for some reason a boss level had, like, Famous by Puddle of Mud. You hear that for a split second, and then suddenly it gets replaced with some unrelated video game song. And then you think, why did I just hear a copyrighted song for a split second?
Yeah.
Of course, it'd be really hard because the intro of that song is really quiet until they suddenly start singing during that chorus.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it would be strange hearing one song that you know from, like, the radio and stuff, and then all of a sudden here comes the game song and
That does sound like, what? So basically, enough talking about random stuff, might as well explain what I'd like to be in this pull request. If someone could end up making sure that your source code is the newest, like, you know, don't make pull requests for some old version, but look through the source code, find where map info handles its string for music. Make it instead check for an integer in map info. Like, instead of music equals file name, make it be music equals, like, number. So it has to be, like, music equals 1, and then it would play Ocean Bass when the level loads. And, of course, then modify where the game, initially plays the music at the beginning of the level. Make it have a special check there that intercepts it, and instead makes it run script 254, and make it run with argument 1 to be that aforementioned music variable from map info. That would be what I'd like for someone to make a pull request that modifies, and don't send a pull request that just makes it throw up an error when I try to compile it. Because I'm not good at Git. I'm not good at source code. If someone leaves me in a place where there's lots of conflict errors, cough cough Git, then I'll end up suddenly seeing a bunch of errors and I'll be stuck, and if I decide to commit that Git commit, then I'll be stuck with all those errors and World of Kirbycraft source code will be basically scrapped.
Ick.
Yeah, so I'm not good at source code, I'm not good at Git, I don't know how to fix conflict errors. Everyone else probably does, I don't.
I don't think everybody knows. I just think that the certain people that invented it probably knows. And maybe just a few others, but I don't think everybody does. That's why it's probably so hard to get help, because very few people probably know exactly what you're supposed to do. So, and they might not even be seeing the video, so I'm sure that there's not very many people that can do all the stuff that you can do. If so, then they would be more willing to help. That's my theory.
Oh. Yep, so currently we're just waiting for Git shell to open just to demonstrate the complexness of Git. Not the conflict error. I don't even want to try merging ZDoom's code or else a bunch of conflicts will fly up. I already know that. I tried it before and a bunch of errors flew up. And then it said, you must commit these changes. You must commit these changes. It's like, I don't want to commit these changes, Git. If I commit them, then I'm going to break my source code.
Yeah.
So it's like they have to give you a way to step out of these changes or revert them back to the latest Git version on your repository.
Exactly.
That would make more sense, to allow you to step back to your previous repository version.
Yeah, that's most definitely should be how it is. Shouldn't get stuck in it.
Yeah, not just leave you with a partially merged version, right?
Right.
So it's still starting up. I don't know whether this computer's slow or if it just takes long just to open up a bunch of text.
Could be.
But right now I'm trying to find that part that causes the game to crash, because I found out, as I said earlier, it's because of the Zane_debug check in the noclip. See, because here's where the inconsistency happens. It starts the cheat, then it checks for if Zane debug equals true. Say one player has true and one player has false.
Right.
Then the one player checks, oh, it equals true, I'm going to let you move. Then the other player's side tries to activate that same cheat for the other player. But since CVARs are only for that specific player, I don't know how to make them global or make them appear for all players. Last time I tried user info, it makes the game crash when you close it, so I don't know how to fix that. So that's why, see, even CVARs are complicated.
Right. A lot of it looks complicated.
But still, the other player then gets that cheat command from the other player saying, oh, that player just tried to activate noclip. Then it says, oh, well then let's activate noclip on our end. Then it tries to activate it for the other player. Then it checks the debug variable. On this player, it equals false. So all of a sudden it checks this, and if debug equals true, no, it equals false. Instead, show this error message.
That's strange.
Well, instead show this error message down here, and then do something with their debug. Well, then do something with their lateral movement or whatever it says. And then, then suddenly, I don't know how the game even comes to a conclusion that they're too desynced. You know, it's confusing. It's like, how does it know from this, you know?
Yeah, it's really confusing.
But I'm assuming the other player tries to run in weird ways, and then suddenly the other player's like, I give up, I'm crashing, this is too confusing.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's just like, is there a way to check for... How do I check for if I'm in multiplayer? Because...
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Because there's so many different things that I want to know how I... Because, see, I don't know.
And there's no way of being able to look them up.
Wait, there's something that says multiplayer.
No! Hey!
Is this what I'm looking for? Oh no, don't remove it! Okay, I wonder if I could check for if... Oh wait, that means it'll return false.
And what does that mean?
Well, if multiplayer equals false and debug equals true, well then it'll check that and it'll realize, oh, well multiplayer equals true, that means this condition doesn't apply, and it'll completely skip over it.
Gotcha.
So this means I have to check for, well, if multiplayer equals true or, and you see there are some things I've learned from the source code. The source code has actually helped me out to some extent. Because there's some things I do in my ACS now that, due to it being based on C++, actually work. For example, I tried typing in, I put parentheses and I sort of nest parentheses within parentheses in order to group multiple conditions together. And
I think you had said something about the double parentheses before.
Yeah, but if you placed for example, if there was if and then there was a condition 1, then you stuck this here, then you stuck a second thing of parentheses, you stuck condition 2, and then you stuck this. Then if condition 3 or condition 2 equaled something, then it would replace this whole part with true, which means, see, now both of them count as the 1.
Got ya.
If this one equals true, then, well, run it. However, though, here's where it really comes in handy for making multiple sets of requirements, which I've seen within the source code. For example, if I make nested ones here and I make C1 and C2, then there's an OR, see that?
Yeah.
And then I make it check for C3 and C4. Then, if both of these conditions are true and these are false, it doesn't matter, because see, it's an OR right here. This means at least one of the conditions applies, but it checks them based on this group over here, because these two are grouped together. These aren't. These are OR.
Uh-huh.
So it considers them all one, and that's something I learned from the source code, believe it or not. I didn't even know it before I looked at the source code until I started noticing all those nested parentheses, and I started catching on that that's a thing I didn't know about. So yeah, the ZDoom source code actually helped me learn something about C++.
Good.
But still, that's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good positive.
Yeah, but now I have to put that to good use, because if I just did that right there without explaining it to you, you'd be confused. Anyone out there is probably facepalming right now because I'm explaining the obvious to them, but What? Don't assume that everyone else doesn't. That everyone else has as much knowledge as you people.
That's right, because I definitely don't. So he has to explain these things to me sometimes because I get totally confused.
So still have to search for if multiplayer equals true, or see that same thing I'm doing,
Right?
or if I hope that it doesn't like throw up an error after I do this saying that's not what multiplayer is used for, you know?
Yeah.
Or if multiplayer equals false and Zane debug equals true. This means that these will only be checked when you're in single player. If multiplayer equals false and debug equals true, then it'll allow it. If it is multiplayer, it'll completely skip over these checks, and all it will care about is if multiplayer is true.
Wow.
I wonder if this will fix the crash or if it'll just throw up an error.
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
So I'm just gonna name this why isn't it listening to certain commands? I hit tab twice there and it didn't register it because it was too busy lagging. You know something's wrong when your laptop lags like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll work, but oh well. Possible multiplayer crash fix.
Did that just pop up or you put it there?
No, that just pops up on its own while it compiles.
Oh, okay.
The main thing I want you to look at is this part.
Okay.
This comment right here, Ma.
Okay, the multiplayer crash fix?
Yeah.
So, what does that mean?
Well, that's just a comment I put there to sort of just note that that's what this line is.
Okay.
And I've already explained what it means. The game will either try this condition or this condition. If either of them are true, then it'll count. It doesn't matter if this one's false and this one's true. It'll still go through because this is an or.
Or, right.
Yeah, the two vertical lines means or. If you see two ands, that means they're grouped together.
Okay.
So
this is or, and what's the and mean? The sign?
Well,
little circly thing?
Well, when it says and like this, when there's two ands beside each other,
Yeah.
that means that this condition and the other one.
Got it.
So both of these have to equal true. If one of them equals false and one equals true, then this whole thing will be counted as false because they're both grouped together within those, and it has to be and. Or means these don't both have to be true. At least one of them has to be, and it'll be counted.
Got it.
Now let's see if this makes the game crash when that condition occurs. Because if done correctly, multiplayer should now completely ignore that CVAR whenever you're playing on multiplayer.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to work because the problem is in the source code they write everything on that humongous list. Every variable, everything. So you don't even know what any of it's used for or what parts of the code you're intended to use it for. From multiple libraries too. It's more confusing than ACS, isn't it?
It sure does seem like that, yeah.
Okay, I want to see?
Yes.
Oh, okay, it appears I'm able to activate no clip and it looks like the game isn't crashing.
Yay!
Nice, I fixed the glitch by making it completely ignore that CVAR. So, right now in multiplayer, we can see that no clip no longer crashes the game.
Yay!
I hope no one abuses this and cheats, though. That's my fear, that players are going to cheat. But as people
You're always going to have cheats.
well, as the people on the Zeden forums say, you can't tell them not to cheat. They'll find a way around it.
Yeah, some people are cheaters, so you know, are going to cheat at everything. So you can't stop that, that's for sure.
Well, let's just start up World of Kirbycraft in single player from Steam. Yes, because I like to start up World of Kirbycraft from Steam because it's such a weird thing. It's like, well, I'm not seeing the overlay, sadly, but this is apparently Steam, apparently. I don't see its overlay. I can't tell this is Steam. Can you?
No.
So anyways, let's see if it still does the debug check since I'm in single player, Ma.
Okay.
This requires debug mode to be enabled. So it still does the debug check, Ma.
Yeah, it does.
And no clip still works in single player when it turns on debug. Is that cool?
That is really cool.
So I managed to make a fix that works, Ma.
Yay! Bravo!
What?
Great.
Ah, well, that's a relief. I'm gonna commit that to the Git right away. Oh, look! It turns out Git had loaded that whole time, but it stayed blank and didn't pop up with any text.
Huh, I wonder why.
I don't know, Git, how do you expect me to know when you're running, you know?
Yeah.
No, wait, not CLS. That's invalid. Don't try searching for it. It's like once it starts trying to search for a folder, it will not stop, you know?
Yeah, it's already put forth the effort. It's already on a mission. On a mission.
Oh, wow. A few commits, Ma.
Okay.
Let's just check what the commits are by typing in git status.
Whoa.
Well, this doesn't make sense to you, but it makes sense to me.
Okay.
Basically, it says I modified these files. These were deleted, and these were modified. But
Okay.
I have to select what I want to add to the commit. So I can make separate commits here, but I feel it's kind of cheap. Like, I could just make each of these an individual commit, and then make my commit count on GitHub really high. It's almost like begging for, like, subscribers on YouTube. I want subscribers. I know it sounds kind of rude to say this to all my subscribers, but it's like saying the subscribers, like, they're just a number. I mean, not the subscribers themselves, but the 303 subscribers on my thing is just a number that other people see. I'm not implying that the subscribers are just numbers, but it's just a number that's...
we love our subscribers.
But it's just the number that's indicated on the channel.
Yeah, you're just stating a fact.
Yeah. So in this case, I'm just going to include this, and I'm going to commit it. This is how you commit changes. Is it confusing?
It is a bit confusing, yes.
Why is it confusing?
Because, I mean, I kind of see what you're doing a little, but, it's just always confusing because it's like a bunch of numbers and letters and colons and hyphens and stuff that's just... Some of the stuff, you know, when reading it, I can look and see that what it's trying to do by picking out some of the words. But but it's all pretty confusing to someone that doesn't, you know, do codes or hack or do any of these things, which would be me. But I like trying to watch anyways sometimes.
I bet that people that hack, they probably end up typing stuff really fast on these things and see a bunch of stuff flap the screen.
Yeah, probably do.
And I bet that we know that Dave fears this, but you know what's coming, Ma. I bet they cause stuff like this to happen.
Yeah.
Except that's very slow. Where's the fast speed, Windows?
Yeah,
there
right?
it is. I have to try this out with CMD.
Get with the program, Windows.
Let's see if... Oh, it looks like you've come just in time just to see that stuff you hate.
What?
Yeah, we're talking about the stuff you hate.
You know what's coming.
Oh no, don't
because,
do it.
Oh, wait, it's not doing it yet. It's about to do it, ready?
No.
Oh.
Oh, there it goes.
It's running at half the speed. I think this laptop is lagging.
Yeah, it just may be. Poor laptop.
So I'm just going to commit the last change, which is basically updating data.pk3 by removing files. I don't know what I did. I never know what I updated, but if you don't provide a reason, they tell you have to provide a reason.
Oh.
It's similar to whenever you edit the World of Kirbycraft wiki. If you all would ever do that, which I wouldn't recommend really because it's in development. I'm probably just going to edit your edits because I keep updating. But if you ever do update on the wiki, see they require you to give a reason, the summary of your edit.
Gotcha.
That's basically what I'm doing here. This little M right here, that's what will appear.
Okay.
We probably shouldn't edit it anyway, right?
Yeah, we probably shouldn't touch
you're the expert on this.
Yeah. But here comes a confusing line. This line has really weird writing. You ready for it?
Yes.
Git push
What?
origin master.
Wow.
Yes, and the weird thing is it's such an unobvious command that if you're new to Git, you won't even know that that's what you have to type in, and you'll wonder why none of your changes are popping up on GitHub. It's because you have to type in git push origin master before it does anything.
Ah, I like that word, the origin master. That's kind of kind of a cool word.
It's like oh, that makes me think maybe there should be a slight Git reference in World of Kirbycraft. Like maybe there should be a boss that calls himself the Origin Master.
Oh, that would be good.
And what about if he's like secretly responsible for creating the World of Kirbycraft? And what about if the Origin Master secretly turns out to be me?
That would be awesome. That's a good idea.
And then they'd be like, wait a second, the creator of World of Kirbycraft? I thought that was Zane. And then all of a sudden, after the boss battle, I'm Zane, I've revealed I'm the Origin Master.
That would be really cool.
Actually, that actually would be an impressive bit of writing.
Yes, it
Yeah,
would.
it would.
I like that. See, come up with brainstorms when we do this sometime.
Yeah, but however, though, the Origin Master. Oh wait, and what about if in order to kill him, you have to push the Origin Master? It's a reference to get. Wait, and then whenever you see him, he says "get out," like he tries to emphasize "get."
Right.
You know, because then he tells you it's not G-E-T, he's referring to G-I-T, get.
Yeah, that's true.
But that could be genius. The whole boss that revolves around get references.
Right.
Yeah, and only people that know that would get it. Get would get it. Get it?
Yeah, but here's all the references in conclusion, Ma. It's a get reference, so it's a get. Then in order to kill me, you'd have to push him off an edge.
Yeah.
Then I'd be revealed to be called the Origin Master, and I'd be revealed to be the origin of World of Kirbycraft. And then I'd reveal to be me, Zane, the creator of World of Kirbycraft.
That's right. It
I
all
mean,
comes full circle.
And plus, that'd be a big plot twist too, because remember, in one of the previous movies, Arthas kills me.
That's
so,
right.
So me coming back unexpectedly, all of a sudden, it'd be like such a big surprise, because it'd be like, well, I didn't expect him to appear as a boss. And then, of course, naturally, since I'd appear as a boss, and what about if I was the final boss?
That's right. If you're the
Even
final
better.
boss, then you are actually the origin master, which created the whole game. Then you can come and go and be killed as much as you want because you're the creator.
And plus, there's another thing too, because if I was the final boss, I'd be able to be like, I have lots of decorates and ACS knowledge, so I'm going to program some new attacks to destroy you.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden, you know, then that'd be a reference to me adding lots of new ACS scripts and decorate code just to make my, you know, in-game actor work correctly.
That's right.
And then it'd be a reference to how much programming I'd have to do to make the final boss be all epic and stuff, you know?
Yep, and you're gonna be definitely epic.
It's still,
That sounds like a
okay,
good idea.
okay, that was a genius idea.
Yes, that was. I really like that.
And meanwhile, while we just brainstormed, it did all this right here. Delta compression using up to 8 threads, compressing objects 100% done.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and Delta 12. What Delta is Delta the difference? Why don't you say difference, right?
Yeah.
You don't even know what Delta is.
No, I
Neither do
don't.
I.
Does it mean difference? Does delta mean difference in code?
I don't know. I just thought one time I heard that it was difference, but is that confusing?
That is confusing. Why don't they just say difference?
I don't know, but now I have 129 commits on here.
What is that?
Each commit is basically an update to the source code.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, as you can see. Oh no, I do not want narrator. Exiting narrator.
Exiting now.
You know you've heard him say that.
Yes, I have.
And still though, right here you can see there's the latest commits that were just made just now. It says 4 minutes ago, literally.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
Oh, and by the way, yeah, but I also modified the colors thing. Remember that cornflower blue or whatever?
Yeah.
I've replaced the file where all those colors came from.
Oh.
I even renamed the header. Originally it said X Consortism or whatever that is, Consortium.
Consortium.
I decided to rename it from X Consortium to Zane Consortium.
Nice.
Good idea.
It's kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like,
but
well, it's
why
like,
not?
yeah, it's like, well, what does the X stand for now? Zane Consortium.
Now you know.
Nice.
Knowing's half the battle.
The more you know.
That's right.
It's like, I don't have that. I can't make that pop up on the screen, by the way. I mean, that's like an image you see pop up in, like, forums everywhere. Every time someone points out something that's kind of unobvious, then all of a sudden everyone suddenly realizes, oh! Then they pop up with that more you know picture with, like, a shooting star flying by the text or something. But there is one thing I can put on the screen, and that's, look at World of Kirbycraft's graphics. They look so 3D. For 1993 standards, you would assume this is true 3D. But it's not. But this is the new 3D graphics. It's so 3D.
Holy cow.
It's so 3D that you could swear that that these ghosts are flying at your face.
Whoa.
It's like they're so. Yeah. It's like.
I didn't see those before.
Right now I'm currently busy explaining something else. I'll explain when
sorry.
we get to that.
Okay.
It's like I have a specific, like, thing in my mind planned out, you know?
Gotcha.
So let's end up starting this 3D thing over. Ignore that you even saw that. Oh wait, and perfect. We can also go to another part of the level to perfectly sum this up. It's like, this is World of Kirbycraft, the newest game based on the id Tech 0/1 engine. From 1993, with amazingly new 3D graphics. They're so lifelike. They're breathtaking 3D graphics. They're ground shaking or whatever they say. These graphics will blow you away. For example, you can run at high speeds with 3D stuff flying in your face like a wall. And these enemies, these ghosts, they're so 3D you could swear they're flying at your face and hurting you. It's so 3D that it's so real. Get World of Kirbycraft coming out in 2017/2018 from years from now, and be sure to get it on the day of release for honor. And that's the advertisement.
Awesome sauce.
But still,
Get it.
yeah, man. Wouldn't you want to get that after hearing about the lifelike graphics?
Yeah, right. That sounded just like they say it too.
Yeah, because it's funny because they always bring up stuff like how lifelike video games are, even when back in the day they didn't even look that realistic. Especially this. This is not realistic.
Yeah.
But you know that in the advertisements they'd lie and say it's all realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's the best thing you're ever gonna see in your whole entire life. They make you think that it's the best thing ever, and then you get it and you're like, wait a minute.
This game doesn't seem like as good as they said.
This thing isn't lifelike.
Yep. Or other examples where they make games look all amazing and they're all scripted at like E3 and stuff. Then whenever people get the game, it's all broken or something. It reminds me of what happened with like Sonic 06. It started off with with this really impressive Sonic game with all these cool looking cutscenes that they only showed behind closed doors. Yeah, so they wasted all that time making those cutscenes just for no one to see them.
Yep.
But then they end up finding out that by the final game, suddenly Sonic is really slow, the game's really glitchy, and everything breaks very easily. The game has changed since that beta all the way to the final.
Ah.
Whoa.
I love that scene.
That's awesome. I love it.
And also, don't forget that it looks even more impressive when there's multiple players jumping across it.
Yes, because me and Zane did that the other day, and it looked wild.
Yeah, especially when you see it from your perspective, because then the other player is in front and they're jumping right near the screen.
Right.
I'm just gonna try to load that. See if I can find it. Nope. There's my updates. Updates on me fixing crashes. Beef Cafe error. Yes, if you don't realize the game would crash with ZDoom is programmed so that if a problem happens, that very fatal error dialog comes up, and sometimes it says Beef Cafe in place of its right address. I don't know why. Don't know, but I looked in the source code and it literally initializes something as Beef Cafe.
That's strange.
Yeah,
Beef Cafe.
yeah. You want to go to a beef cafe?
We got the meats.
I just don't know if it's in this conversation or not.
I don't know if you put it in that one or if you put it in the ones just being you.
I don't know. It's a tricky part when there's so many Facebook conversations.
Yeah.
Is it that one? No. Is it this one? Okay, yeah, it's this one. So, right here you can see, the GIF. Look at us as we bounce behind each other. Boing, boing, boing.
Here we go.
Oh, wow.
And then we both fly. Boing!
Ooh.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's good when the game doesn't crash.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's rather frustrating.
Yes, it is.
I mean, there's other minor things I've fixed with multiplayer and special stages, by the way.
That's good.
Yeah, for example, before, whenever you entered a special stage, only the player that enters the special stage would see the screen fade to white. That's now been fixed. Now all of the players will see it happen at the same time because now an enter script, yet another script, is running in the background. I worry that eventually it's going to eat up the user's memory and make low-end laptops lag a lot. Because it's kind of scary, but it's what I have to do because of my limited programming language knowledge, Ma.
I understand.
Well, and this, but also there's another thing that was fixed, Ma.
What?
If one of the players beats the special stage, then before only one of them would show the finishing animation. You actually experienced that. Like, your Arthas on your screen was doing the victory animation, but my Mary was just running around like nothing.
Right.
However, now we can demonstrate both of the fixes. Because notice when I run towards this door, they now both fade out.
Ah.
See, it makes it a lot more seamless.
It does.
And I'm just going to cheat here a few times, because this would take forever otherwise. But now I'm just going to demonstrate the other thing I fixed. Where before, only one of them would do the victory animation. Now I've managed to fix it. I forget how, but I commented out like code or something. And now, I added an additional variable called end. And it acts the same way as the failed variable. If you fail the special stage, you cannot exit that while loop. So the game gives you a bunch of coins to make you reach the goal. But since your failed variable equals 1 or true instead of false, it instead makes you fail the special stage with different code. But it works by hackishly giving the players all 500 coins or something, which will no doubt make it go over the limit, as your limit would probably be 999 anyways. Got
ya.
So it's kind of strange.
It is quite strange.
But that's the only way I could pull it off, Ma.
And you did it.
But anyways, watch as their ending animations will begin in sync and only begin when I hit the ground, Ma.
Okay.
See? They move perfect. And look at that, they're perfectly in sync. See that?
Yeah, love it.
And it's like, wow, I've managed to fix 2 things about the special stage.
Yes, you have.
Oh, I killed him in one combo.
Yeah, that was cool.
I wonder if that's because I worry about randomness in this engine. Like, don't even bring up the flowers where I worry about the flowers. Oh no, crash.
Grenades.
Wait, the flowers crashed the game? That is not a good sign. Oh my giant! Crash. There must be something going on in that script. I've got to verify that all rain isn't causing it to crash. Because, see, multiplayer is like a nightmare to make stuff work in.
I believe ya. Had a lot of problems with it.
Yeah, it's like, why is multiplayer so hard to make all of them work?
Maybe that's the reason why a lot of games aren't multiplayer.
Yeah, I don't know. I bet that they would have a way more good system than Doom's outdated one here.
True.
Because, if anything, they'd be more like Xandronum or whatever. Where, remember, there it's a client-server thing. If players can join and leave at any time. Well, then again, games on consoles seem to resort to this weird lobby system anyways. I don't see that in Xandronum. And there, it's non-stop gameplay. Every time one of the matches ends, you see a brief results screen, and then boom, you're off to the next one.
Got ya.
For the record, I think the new Doom does the same thing as well. I think, apparently it has its own the lobby thing. Let's see. Snow.
Nice.
Okay, Snow. Snow does not make it crash. Except, we might wonder why it's saying triggered over and over again.
Why is that?
It keeps saying triggered because that's debug code, because Mary's hammer, if it flies off an edge, it'll be removed. I bet I could program it in a much better way. I mean, if Mary, whenever she drops the hammer, if she instead spawned it herself, she could be marked as its master, because remember, that's a pointer, because it's really complicated with pointers. But then, she can make it so that she would be given an inventory item that would let the game know, oh, well, she has lost her hammer, so she should complain about it out loud and, like, cry about it and stuff. And then on the next level, it should spawn. Well, that's not really related to the variable, you know? But at the moment, it's happening because whenever a projectile goes over this edge, it triggers the line dev. So there are line devs around this, and whenever any of those snowflakes go over one of these lines at the edges of this pit, they sometimes trigger it, Ma.
Got it.
I think it's also because the Mary's hammer, when it's on the ground, is also treated the same way. I don't think I can send it flying to knock it into one to demonstrate. I'll drop. There's a typo there. Oh. There's quite a bit of M's there, wasn't there? But now you can see the hammer.
Love the hammer.
Why do you love hammer?
This is cute.
Oh. Wait. Actually, she wasn't kissing it. But how come every time I ran over it, it made her do that? Unless you try to kiss it. I just have to see if she'll end up trying to kiss it. Nope. Randomness. Randomness doesn't want her to kiss it. No, she will not kiss it. No. There.
There she can stay.
She prefers to stare at the hammer than to kiss it.
Yeah, she's like, oh, my hammer. My lovely hammer.
Still, I just have to admit though, the hammer combat, it really should be like upgraded, but the problem is then I'd have to make new sprites, then they could possibly be different sizes, meaning you see it suddenly jump to being tiny and being huge. See, that's why that normally I only make all the graphics that I initially planned that I'll have to make, and I never make any more. That's why that all of Arth's sword slashes are all reusing the same graphics. Like that's reusing the same graphics as that and that. Except amazingly, they all feel like different attacks. They don't really feel like I'm reusing the same graphics.
No, they don't.
This is so cool.
By the way, I want to try something
It's
here.
such a long way.
I know, right?
But I just want to try something out here. Oh, I suppose we can't even hear anything. Sound, music, sound. This one, play 01. Oh, we'll not play it. Yeah, we'll not play it because it's not at the right volume. And no, I want this one to be normal soundtrack. Normal soundtrack. There we go. Because I want to experience, I want to see if I can see her drowning from a different point of view. Yeah, you can hear that noise, can't you?
Yeah.
I want to see what it looks like when she drowns, because I think it forcibly cuts off everyone's music. I think. Okay, never mind. Look, the numbers don't even appear for the other person. Is that weird?
That's cool, though.
Ah, man, I should save myself right before I die, Ma.
Yes, you did.
Oh, do you notice that Mary's movement's pretty laggy, isn't it?
Just a little bit.
Oh, and by the way, and you can also puke different rain and snow for both people. So you could have one person spawning rain, the other person spawning snow.
You don't get that kind of stuff in gameplay usually. Usually it just does what it's gonna do.
Yeah, that's what I was noticed sudden. It didn't change the sky. It refuses to change the sky. Wow, sky. This isn't World of Warcraft. World of Kirbycraft.
Walk.
Walk. Haha. And also, like I've said, I sadly cannot make precipitation not appear for other players. This means that every player can see your rain. Because you can see the rain and the snow are falling independently and they're based on the player.
Yeah.
That's only just due to limitations.
I mean, usually players don't get the option to be able to make it rain or snow.
Actually, we really don't. I'm just forcing a script to run. Normally the levels would just set these accordingly just to make certain areas look rainy and other ones.
Yeah.
Similar
I
to...
thought you meant that every player had the ability to be able to make it rain or snow.
That wouldn't even make any sense. Snowy weather would only make sense in levels where the snow appears. Or remember my plan for the first snowy level. To make it so that it initially starts off grassy and then suddenly you start seeing snowfall. Then a few seconds later or something, suddenly the ground texture flickers to snow, but it does this quickly so that you can't reach the next area, so I don't have to program too much.
Alright.
That's still the plan for the first snow level, to make it look all grassy and then suddenly turn snowy after the beginning.
Cool.
Oh, by the way, Juan, don't forget this one. I think, yeah, look at that. Game crashed! And that's not because of the source code mod, that's because of the ACS script.
Ah.
Not exactly sure why, do you?
No, I'm not.
I wonder, is it because of the flowers themselves?
Not the pretty flowers.
I bet that Mary wouldn't like knowing the flowers crashed the game.
No, she would not like it. She'd be like, oh, my flowers. My beautiful flowers.
Let's see if flowers crash game.
Okay.
Didn't even spawn. Okay, I'm seeing a flower and no, the game is not crashing. Oh, well, I shouldn't really say I'm seeing flowers. I'm seeing lots of grass. Okay, there's a flower.
There it is.
Flower's pretty.
Yeah, that one looks like it. It hasn't even got a flower on it.
Yeah, it's actually a different type of flower. I keep thinking I saw them in like one of the Harvest Moon games or something.
Oh.
So yeah, I guess I figured I might as well introduce one of those, right?
Yep.
Oh, and then I just point out how many things have the same recolors. Don't forget that coins are what initially had recolors. But let's not forget, not too many pink ones there. No! It just bugs me that there's 2 pink and not anything else. Is it a form of OCD?
Maybe. Or just be that you just feel that there's pinks overwhelming the green or something.
But
I
still.
think everybody has it.
But you can still see that both the flower right there and that coin are both colored the same color.
Yeah.
And that's just proof that they all use the same recolors internally. It's amazing they all use that same script.
Yeah, they do. It's weird.
Oh, and let's not forget about one more thing that uses the recolors now, Ma.
What's that?
The ghosts. Because you may not notice it at first, but she has that color dress.
Yes, she does.
If I make another one appear, there's a different colored dress on the girl.
Yeah.
So basically, each of these ghosts that spawn can have a different dress color.
Cool.
I figured that'd be better than making the girl recolor their outfit.
Right.
This does mean that each of the recolors will have to have the man get recolored, because he never gets recolored. Oh, and right here we can see a nice one. Look, it looks like they're kind of rainbow colored.
They are.
Well, except for these, Ma.
Yeah. So cool.
Oh,
I
and,
can see the difference in colors.
and there's their particles, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to spawn a pink one, because that would really fit with this rainbow thing going on. Okay, perfect, got one.
Yay.
See, she's pink.
Yes, she is.
And now we have a perfect rainbow of these girls.
Ah, look at the cute little ghosts.
Well, they're cute until they try to jump at you, of course.
Yeah.
But to the boot!
Ah.
It's like Mary's reaction right there. Did you hear it? Mary sounded all whiny. It perfectly fit you getting hurt in the face with one of those things. You think?
Yeah.
Let's
I'm
use
hurt.
Arthas as a shield, Ma.
Oh no.
Ma, I said let's use Arthas as a shield, but due to real time stuff, you unfortunately reacted to the death instead of what I expected, you know?
Yep.
But too bad, you can't really pause the game in multiplayer. Only with the pause thing, if you remember, you know?
Yeah.
But so I was trying to use Arthas as a shield, but they jumped right over him and hit Mary.
Yeah, she's taller.
But it isn't just because of that. It's because they jumped right over. Oh, wait, it is because she's taller, because if she was in front, they would have hit her.
Yeah.
But since he's in front, he's a small Kirby, so they jumped right over his head.
Yeah, man, smacked right into her. They're colored pretty.
Yeah, it's like, that's going to make it interesting to look at these dancing ghosts, by the way.
Oop, I dancing ghosts.
Oh, managed to kill one.
Cool.
It's really hard to kill them as Mary without dying.
I hear ya.
The problem is the only way to fix this would be to make her weapon more powerful. However, the hammer's not supposed to be powerful. Only Arthas' hammer is supposed to be powerful, so it can do really long, dragged-out animations, but would be able to quickly kill enemies with lots of power.
Yeah.
What?
Wonder if her spin attack would work better on them.
Well, the spin originally works, but it's mysteriously broken now. Yeah, see, if I do it by one, it doesn't even hurt them now.
That's strange.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, there was a new death sound from Mary, by the way, if you didn't hear it before.
No, I don't think I did.
Well, that one's the same old one. But whenever she dies, she makes her own sounds, Ma.
Cool.
Oh. Not there, though. Wait, is it because apparently that's not going to work. I have to literally find a way to get her killed by herself. No, summon Rocket. That would kill her. Oh. It's really, actually it wasn't her though. It's really hard to hear her over them. Okay, there we go, Ma.
There's one. Wow.
Yeah, sometimes she makes a high-pitched squeal when she dies. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
It's like some of those just sound so painful they almost make you cringe almost.
They do. They're really squeaky.
It's amazing I can pull off this girl's voice.
I know. I can't believe some of those voices are yours.
Yeah, actually, not counting the few from the other voice actress, actually I think all of them in the game are done by me other than that, including all the monsters.
Yeah.
I
Some badass voiceovers.
I have a lot of voice, Ma.
Yeah, you do.
Well, let's just remind you of how different these things are, ready?
Yep.
Those are all me.
That is awesome. Your voice can make all those different noises.
And let's not forget about how this one sounds. That's what the guy says sometimes. Isn't it funny?
Yes.
Oh, and let's not forget what he says right here. And by the way, I wrote down in sound info what he's saying there.
That was good.
Will that come in handy?
Yeah, that's a good idea because some of them you can't quite make it out.
It's this one right here.
Uh-huh.
See what he says?
Yep.
Oh, if you compare it to this one. It's all reversed though,
Yeah, so that means they have their own language, like Simlish.
well, not really, because I intentionally, I think I imagined, an English word in my mind being said forwards, then backwards, and then I ended up repeating what it sounded like my mind interpreted as the word backwards. So I was actually intentionally trying to make them sound like English words, but with a weird twist. If I said them normally, they would sound correct, like with the other characters. So to make this enemy sound different, I intentionally said them backwards, then reversed them to form these... to create this weird sound to their voice.
Yeah, they've got their own language.
Even though
But it's really English.
Yeah, let's say, do you really know this is English?
Yeah. It's English in reverse and then said in reverse to be forward, right?
What?
So it's what a word would be in reverse. You actually said it in reverse and then flipped it around.
Yeah,
Got ya.
However, if it was another language, I would just make random nonsensical noises.
Right.
Or I'd say something weird forwards and then reverse it to form the reverse language, and that would actually sound like another language.
Yeah.
As we hear from, Zane module turning into Ookamies!
I remember when you used to backmask stuff all the time.
Huh.
It's funny. You'd sit for hours backmasking.
Huh.
You're like, isn't that driving you crazy yet? No, it's funny.
Huh. Oh, and speaking of that, there's sounds they make when they die are reversed. They're reversed parts of... I think about a Chili Pepper song. Yeah, they're literally... These are actually old sounds that were, within the PK3 for a long time, Ma. What? What is it? Walk Guy Zero Death? No? Oh wait, is it whoa? It's /death. What? It's something, Ma.
Yeah.
You believe me?
I do. I do believe you.
There's the dancing ghost code, by the way.
Wow, a lot of code.
Yeah, is that weird? It's Mo /death.
Mo /death.
Is that weird?
Yep.
What?
So that's a backwards Red Hot Chili song?
Yes! Sometimes when you kill someone, it's kind of funny because Slick says, "Stop that!" Stop that! Doesn't it sound like that?
Yeah.
So it sounds like he's just slightly annoyed at you.
He does, yeah, he does.
Snap, nah. He knows what it sounds like.
Yeah, he's like, stop. I didn't know that was a Red Hot Chili Pepper song, yo. That's pretty cool. Get you another one of these babies. That was awesome sauce. Awesome game! Love it. Everybody needs to watch. And be prepared to play.
Oh. Oh man. I can fix one thing. SS coin total. There's no SS coin total here. Wait, there is an SS coins total. She's named SS coin total, not coins total. Oh, it has to be started at multiplayer. Total, there we go. Now it says total. You'll have to fix the glitch. The thing is because of the warning noise when you jump in the water. I just have to remove that stop sound command. This actually could be done pretty simply. By making it play, then delay, then do the stop sound command, else delay 3. Recompile the code and then close the game, or else we'll see an error pop up saying the PK3 changed while the game is running. Or should we say the zlib stream error? They probably should change that. Who's gonna know what zlib is? Only if you're familiar with source code, you're gonna know what zlib is. I didn't know what it was, but I actually saw the error. Oh, but now I hear the sounds in full. The reason why this was done was because Special Stage 2, because the water here. Yeah, the water here is unforgiving. Let's test it. Yeah, if you collect a coin underneath the water, it cuts it off, but this glitch should never be actually noticed unless the player somehow picks up a coin within 3 ticks of escaping the water. Because, well, why would there be a coin underneath the water? That encourages the player to lose time. Because the Sonic CD hitting the water makes you lose time. This is a Sonic CD reference. I just teleported! What's making me teleport? When a spring makes you teleport, that means there's multiple springs with that thing ID. Nope, not that one. They seemingly randomly make me teleport. I don't even have an explanation for why they make me teleport. None of them make me teleport. How come that one made me teleport? Because this time when I made contact with Nathan, they didn't make me teleport. Still, yeah. Oh yeah. I also forgot to point out that now the trolls are now randomly colored. Yeah, the trolls can now be randomly colored any of those colors. I did say that this could also apply to enemies, and here's proof. Here's a pink troll! Makes it obvious which is which. Reddish one. Another reddish one. Yeah, now here's a blue one. Look at that. Wow, he wants to be like only like a couple colors. Probably so he could fit on like a Game Boy or NES game or something. Game Boy Color or NES game. So only had 4 colors on him. Well, technically he wouldn't fit on either of those systems anyways. He'd have to be only 3 colors because the 4th one's transparency for some reason. So he can't have a 4th color. Unless he was very stylishly put together with multiple palettes. First of all, they look pretty identical at a far distance though. I thought they looked like the things on his arms had faded to blue from a far distance. It's like all the enemies that made in World of Kirbycraft are threatening if you don't take them seriously. It's hard to take things seriously when they smile at you like a troll. It looks like he's smiling at you. I don't know if that was intentional, but it looks like he's smiling at you. It's weird. And there's also a new dancing ghost type, by the way, but I think it's not as good as these. These are really simplistic by comparison, but it seems that this proves that not all that the better programming does not mean better monster. See, I tried to program this one to look all advanced. You know, like, oh, they'll chase you around, and if you dare go up on a wall, they will climb up the wall or whatever. Like this. You think you're safe? Get near the edge. Ah!
Nothing's safe.
However, this enemy is not as good as the other one. It looks like it does a homing attack whenever it jumps up to hit you. Oh, sometimes it looks like it does a homing attack. Though I actually had recorded those extra lines for that. Knowing they say take this whenever they do anything, I know don't go thinking of Silver saying that. Because it's twin related. However, whenever you make them hit you 3 times in a row, they'll say take this and this and this. Problem is, the man's voice sounds like he's saying and this for both. And the female one barely even sounds like she's even saying and this. It literally sounds like it's the same sample saying in this every time. Now listen closely, they're very slightly different samples. Snap that! Oh, by the way, he did just insult them. But can we start off with the girl? Ah, see that? Take this and this and this. It makes sense, but I hope that maybe one day I can make a monster that actually does chase after you and runs up walls if it can't reach you. Problem is, if it can't reach you, it can mean anything. It can even mean if you're out of bounds. Which means, yes, it can climb up to the top of a wall and then it can just stay there. It will stay there as long as it can't see me. Yeah. The instant it sees you, it attempts that. Its programming is very flawed though, because instead of just staying still and dancing most of the time, it just resorts to doing this weird dance when it follows you. Plus, she's very clearly saying "and this" whenever she does the attack. And that's what I said earlier. They insult you if they manage to kill you. Let's demonstrate that with this one. That's what they sound like when they kill you. Yes, that was backwards, by the way. Haha. Haha, having another dunk. Oh wow. And by the way though, if you manage to kill yourself in front of them, they will still taunt you, because I wish I could check if they managed to kill the player so I could make it so that the specific one that kills you would be the one that insults you. But I can't check for that, so unfortunately, they all insult you regardless. So yeah, they insult you no matter what distance. Kind of curious what other CVARs are available to me. I mean, I saw this multiplayer. I want to see if there's other alternatives. Nope, no co-op. Deathmatch. Hit deathmatch, but no co-op. And that's only because it's a CVAR. Deathmatch is a CVAR. I guess it's team play here. Yeah, team play's here. That would only be here if they defined it as an external one or something. What information is within player? Mo. Chicken peck.
How's the video going, my man?
Yeah, now I'm just modifying stuff.
You on videos still? Hi,
Yeah,
people.
well, I was asking you, I was letting you know before you ended up assuming all of a sudden, but you tend to do that.
Yeah, you're just modifying stuff, you said?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
but I mean, you tend to just do stuff without waiting for a response like that sometimes, do you?
Yeah, that's how most people do it.
It's just where it's like you just assumed even though you asked a question. It seems silly not to wait and hear the response.
Yeah, you know, you're right about that.
But aren't you a bit weird sometimes?
Yes, I am weird.
Oh,
For all you YouTubers out there, Zane's mother is weird. But you know, a lot of people do that. They ask a question, but then they start observing. And then they'll start observing the situation as they're asking the question. And then they kind of find out for themselves, so they really don't need the answer. So that's kind of what I did. I came in asking if he was still making a video, but I could tell when I used my eyes then to see that you were actually making a video. So then I missed it on recording it. So yeah, it's just like my brain kind of caught up with my eyes or vice versa. I don't know what happened there. You make me analyze the things that I do, and after I analyzed it, I realized it was pretty crazy that I did that. So yeah. Got good points there sometimes, Dean. I think a lot of people do that, so which is even stranger. So I don't know if it's like I taught it to myself or it was taught to me, because I think a lot of people do that instinctually already. Weird. Got me thinking in deep thought there for a second.
I want yeah, my food.
Food.
By the way though, there actually is another change that was made. Other than the menus actually being properly spaced out, you can see all these menus have been modified to now not have any of those weird gaps that I added to space them out. You can tell because this one's still spaced out, but look at that, the menu now works correct. I also center the arrow on each of the lines. It doesn't seem to affect this menu for some reason. Why is this menu so huge? This one's controlled by the source code just like this one. Why is this one huge? I don't know why the game's still going up. Also, where's those graphics located for that? There's meters. I forgot to point out though, the font now works as you'd expect. There's no lowercase L and S. Well, technically there are lowercase L and S. They're still there if you hit the less than or greater than symbol. However, it's unlikely you'll ever stick those in your name. Though if you want to recreate the old days of having awkwardly written names, then there. But that's really dumb they don't include letters. Aren't this? Are you sure? So I'll point out though, this means you can also end up naming yourself like this. I have mine in all caps just due to habit and due to word that secretly it's still putting in lowercase letters. But still. I typed in that S normally. It now writes everything in all caps properly. Oh, and by the way, I noticed that I failed this special stage, so it lets me revisit it. Normally it'll take you to the next level, so you have to go hunt that thing down again in the next level. Well, it's pretty impossible to do a wall jump off that. Aha! You just flash over it anyways. That's how you become more precise. You slow down and then you do your Kirby style puffs. It's surprisingly controllable. Oh, she managed to go over that. Dreams. Oh, wait! Wonder if I can do something weird here. Let's find out where that's located. So it's just around it, turn out here. Yeah! Then I warp straight to this room and I strangely don't appear on the camera. That's sad.
And happy Memorial Day, everyone!
Hello, Gigas. Yeah, it totally sounds like it's referencing Earthbound. Something. Yeah, like totally unintentional. It sounds like he's saying that. So it's like there's an Earthbound reference here too. Sometimes the monsters will say that. Oh, there's a glitch. If you die while you're gaining points, the game will not take away half of them. Oh, it's sort of weird, but it's good that I managed to fix some bugs today.